Okay, hello, welcome back to the channel. So, ladies and gentlemen, big news. Sandro Tonali might very well be on his way out of AC Milan. It looked initially like it was just a little bit of kind of BS news, just from the English press, maybe to kind of drum up some drama, especially after the Newcastle try for Barella. But it looks much more real at this point. It seems like the antics of the new Milan owners have kind of pushed Tonali to say, well, screw it, I might as well leave. So what basically happened is that Newcastle went for Barella. Inter rejected that, flat out said, no, we're not selling him, which is the response I would have expected Milan to have. But we have new owners. We have pretty vulturous owners, which I'm not a fan of. As you may know, I was never a fan of Elliott, and I am even less of a fan of Redbird and Cardinale. So Milan said, your initial offer of 50 is not enough, but we'll listen to other offers. So they've increased it now to 70, I believe, plus 10, totaling around 80 million. And then Newcastle's going to be increasing Tonali's pay by, I believe, about 2.5 times. So that's a lot of money there. And what it seemed like is that, Tonali never asked for a transfer. He never had an issue renewing. But it seems like once the management says, yep, we've accepted a number, what are you really going to do? If your owner, your boss comes to you and says, hey, we've accepted a transfer fee for you, or at least we're negotiating and we're pretty close, and then you say, well, I think I want to stay, what do you think is going to happen? Obviously, you've lost the faith of the club. You're just a number to them. You're pure profit. So do you really feel like you belong? Do you really feel worth it? Do you feel valued? Do you feel good? Hell no. You don't. There's absolutely no way that as a player you can stay, because now you stay and you kind of realize that you're living on borrowed time, right? You make a mistake, people are going to say, oh, you should have been sold, or the management is going to look down on you. Either way, there's really no win after the club is starting to evaluate your sale. There just is no way around it. There's no way Tonali is going to feel good about his position here after that. So I don't blame him for saying, okay, fine, I guess I'll go. This is a terrible, terrible move. And I think what has to happen is people need to separate this time around the business from the heart of the team, because too often these days, everybody just talks about money, money, and money. And it's getting away from what you actually love about the game. I don't know about you guys, but when I started supporting this team several years ago, I didn't watch them because they had a great business model, right? I didn't watch them because, they just ran their club so well. I ran them because I fell in love with a lot of the players who were here. I fell in love with the club atmosphere. I fell in love with just the whole structure and what Milan represented. I fell in love with their history, why they were AC Milan, why they separated with Inter Milan, right? It's very deep. And so I've stuck with this team through thick and thin because there's always been that glimmer of AC Milan being AC Milan. It's sales like this, it's moves like this that take away the core, that take away the heart of Milan. Sandro Tonali is our only top Italian player. Calabria is good, and there are days to where he looks like a world beater, like when he was shut down Kvaratskhelia in the Champions League, but he's not like that all the time. He's a really solid right back. There's not many right backs right now that I would probably take over him, just because I think his defense is quite good, but he's not, I wouldn't consider him a top player. I think he's right on that next level of being just underneath a top player. He's solid, he's very good, but he has some bad games too. Tonali is already a top player, and he's only 23. He is the icon of AC Milan. He is the future capitano of this team. This is the guy you're supposed to build around. You've got him, you've got Teo, you've got Maignan, and you've got Rafa Leao. That is your team. You sell one of those pieces, the rest crumbles. Now, you can say, they're going to take the 80 million and reinvest it into Fratesi and invest it into SMS or somebody else. I don't care. I don't care how smart they use the money. I don't care. This rips the core of Milan out. And it's not about Sandro Tonali in general. It's about what he represents. Boyhood fan of the club. Took a pay cut just to stay here, right? This guy loves Milan. But everybody can see this club is losing its core. And you're fooling yourself if you think that it's not. Maldini's gone. And while I wouldn't say that he was the most amazing sporting director, he did a pretty dang good job. I personally didn't like most signings of this past offseason. I think he did a terrible job with it. But his other off seasons were good. I thought he should have at least gotten 1 year truly under the new management and see how he does. But no, he was out unceremoniously, outdone, ties cut. Very, very disrespectful way to handle it. A club legend. Ibra's gone, so a guy who once again embodies that Milan spirit, gone. You don't even have him in the locker room. He's out. The next symbol of Milan, now seemingly gone. What do you think is happening here? It's easier for a management to crush all of that kind of initial iconic stuff and then build their own crap, right? It's business 101, right? You want to almost like get rid of your old management structure, right? So you have no opposition. And then basically you just want people who are yes men to stay, right? People who don't really kind of bring that old Milan. They want new. So who are the people that you really think about? In my mind, you got Maldini, you got Ibra, you got guys like Tonali, and probably a guy like Teo. I know that Teo is not Italian, but it seems like Teo just embodies Milan. And I have a feeling there's a chance he may go at some point in the future too. So this could be just a domino effect. And it's going to be really hard for me to throw my full support behind this club right now, as I always have through thick and thin, because I've never been just a blind fan, right? I've never just said, hey, I just love Milan because they wear red and they wear black. Cool. No, it's deeper than that for me. But they're starting to lose every little bit about their depth, their history, their class. Every bit. We are just a business now. And I know that a club has to be successful financially too to be okay, but there's just some things you don't do, right? For a sporting reason. I don't watch this team to make sure that they make a good profit and do that. I don't want them to go bankrupt and have some terrible time financially. But I don't watch this to play spreadsheet manager. That's not why I watch the game. And if you watch the game for that, that's very strange. I don't think a single fan gets jacked up or excited about spreadsheet manager. This is about passion. This is about heart. Right now, this type of a move, especially after the past few weeks here that we've had, is gut-wrenching. It's killer. Even if the team improves, it's not going to mean shit. When you take a core person out of the team who you're supposed to build around, who is supposed to be a captain, you are losing what it actually means. Otherwise, what does the club mean if we stand for nothing? If we have no morals, no values about it, no reminiscence of Milan? What does it mean? Nothing. You could go support any other club who's decently successful. What does it actually mean? Why are we supporting Milan when our owners are doing crap like this? I can get over the Maldini move. I hated it. Hated it at every single minute of it, especially how it was done. Not necessarily that he's gone, but how it was done. This move? Not so sure I can get over this one. We'll see what happens. I hope it's not actually true, but it seems very, very true. Fabrizio Romano and other very reputable sources are reporting it, so I do think it's just a matter of time, and it is a huge, huge letdown. Let me know your thoughts. But this one I think is a huge blow, and it's going to be very difficult going forward here. This management, this new structure, Redbird, Cardinale, all this type of stuff, it seems like it's just going to be pure money, pure profit. I don't think AC Milan is going to resemble AC Milan in the future, and it's going to be very hard to just support this team because they were red and black, because a lot of the history is gone. Thank you guys for listening. This one's a pretty hard one to post. I never thought we'd be here. I thought we might, sell somebody else or whatnot to raise funds. I never thought we'd be selling probably the most likely person to stay here as a lifer, and probably the only one. I know it doesn't happen too much these days, but he was the great hope for us. So we'll see what happens over the next few days here, but I'm not very happy. Take care, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and hopefully I'll be able to be back soon with some better news. Ciao.